Maybe we'll just put a happy little seedling over here. Hey everybody, Josh Painter back again here with the Happy Seedling, episode 2. Today we're going to talk about fees. What is a fee? How does it work? Why would you use one? Lots of fun stuff around fees. But first we're going to talk about something else. Corrections. So I got a lot of great feedback after episode 1 from lots of different people. It seems like everybody really enjoyed it. I'm very happy for that. But I did get some feedback about some things that I should explain better or flat out explained wrong. So that presented a bit of a conundrum. I thought to myself, what would Bob Ross do? Would Bob Ross go back yesterday to yesterday's painting and yesterday's broadcast and edit it so that it's correct? I don't think so. I think he might talk about it today, in today's broadcast. Talk about his, let's say, happy little mistakes. Now you can see here I spelled the word mistakes wrong, of course. That's kind of the joke, and I don't know if you can tell. This thing down here is supposed to be a steak, and it's supposed to be a miss. Anyway, this whole slide may have been a mistake. But this is the first version of our Happy Little Mistakes segment. Let's talk about something that went wrong last episode. First of all, the explanation of how a transaction would go from your wallet to someone else's when you send 1xch. Now, if you'll remember from the first video, and you can certainly go back and watch it, I actually chose, I think it was this coin, and maybe this coin, and this coin, and this coin. But really what the wallet does is actually something quite different. It actually has a rule that chooses the highest amount coin first when it's sending a transaction. And it does this on your behalf, of course. So in actuality, let's just get rid of these little dots. What really would have happened is it would have chosen the 1.25 XCH coin, and then you would have gotten back 0.25 and change, as described in the last video. So to make this a little bit more interesting, let's not just do that, because that's going to be too simple, right? Let's smudge this out a little bit, and let's actually make this 2 XCH. I think that'll be a little bit more interesting. So we'll do green, and we really want to do 2 XCH here to our friend. They'll be very happy. Okay, so we're still going to use our 1.25 coin, of course. What else are we going to need? Of course, well, we now know that the highest value coins are picked, so of course we're going to need the 0.65 coin. That adds up to 1.90, so we're still not quite there. So the next highest coin would be the 0.4. And so now we are at 1.9 plus 0.4 is 2.3. So we are still over 0.3, and we expect that back in change. So of course that's exactly what we're do. We will first create our own change, 0.03. Oops, let's just undo that happy little mistake. 0.3 XCH ends up in our wallet, and of course 2 XCH ends up in our friend's wallet. So that's the first little thing, just a quick little detail of how the wallet actually chooses coins on your behalf. Now, of course, you could, if you were manually doing this through programming, you could choose whatever coins you wanted, but this is how the wallet does it by default. Also, I wanted to point your attention here to something that I didn't really talk about in last video, which is what I labeled this thing, called a spend. And that's a better word than transaction, as you'll see in a future video, but this thing right here, excuse me, is meant to represent the spend bundle, as we call it. And each one of these little lines you see down here are meant to represent each one of these coins that we're talking about up here. So either additions or subtractions. Additions would be coins that you create or send to your friend, and subtractions would be the coins that you are spending, such as these up here. So just remember that nomenclature now. We don't say transactions as much in the lower level world. We talk about spins and spin bundles and coin spins. Okay, let's move right along. Next up was this little thing, and I actually caught this one myself. Maybe someone else did mention this as well, but I noticed this while watching back that I did not actually end up giving our friend here the 500 CATMOS. So sorry about that, guy. We will now make him whole in this correction video. All right, that was it. Moving on, let's actually get to episode 2, fees. And specifically WTFBBQ, which of course we all know stands for why the fee bypasses big Qs. Well, why does this happen? What is the fee for? How do we use it? What is this about bypassing Qs? Let's jump right in. We're going to start with a bit of an analogy here. Of course, we know in the Chia world we love farming and plots and the general analogy of green land and blue sky and beautiful day. So we're going to start here with a farmer that's maybe giving a hayride to people. You can see here we've got the tractor in the front, the farmer. We've got the people in the back. They're very excited to be riding on top of the hay in the country for some reason. And of course the farmer's seems like he's confused about that. He's asking why the fee as well. We need to help him understand these fees as well. He's kind of just thinking to himself, I think, why the fee? So let's jump right in here. Let's look down here at the bottom now. The farmer, of course, is represented by the tractor. Let me get my pencil working again. So this is the farmer, of course. We're looking top down on this little scene from above. So this is the farmer that's actually working on the blocks out there, looking at the plots, the harvester, all of that fun stuff. The tractor in the back, or I'm sorry, the trailer in the back is representing the block in this case. And this is when the farmers find a block in their plots. They're able to gather up a bunch of coin spins and put those on the trailer and form a block out of them and sign that block and send it onto the blockchain. Now, I don't want you to get too hung up on the number of hay bales here, of course. I'm only showing 8 here in the picture. That doesn't mean a block only has room for 8 coin spins. It's much more, of course, but this is just kind of to show the idea. So a block is composed of these different coin spins that we talked about in the last couple of slides. So just keep this in mind. This is just a kind of a high-level way for you to think about what's going on behind the scenes with the fees. Now that we'll talk about the fees now that you kind of have this in your mind. Let's move along to what I'll call the hay fair. Now, I don't know why there's no such thing as a hay fair. It seems like this would be a no-brainer. This place you would go and look at all different types of hay and have a good time. But we certainly know about hay rides, of course. That's at least something we can all get behind. So we're going to start there. Maybe you go to the hay fair and, you know, there's a main entrance up here at the front. Oh, my pen changed again. So there's a main entrance up here at the front. And there's a big sign right there that says you can only fit 2,000 people in here. They're like a maximum occupancy type sign. But as you can see right now, we're pretty empty inside. There's only a few people in here. And then, of course, there's a line at the actual hay ride itself. And you notice these little cent signs up here above the people's heads. So those are meant to represent fees. And, of course, each person here is meant to represent a coin spend. So you can imagine as people out there in the Chia world are making transactions, sending money around, coin spins are coming in, and they're coming in this way from all different places out there. And this guy is letting everybody in as long as there's plenty of room. So everybody can just go right in. There's no fees required. Everybody can just walk right in right here. It's an open door. So they're walking in. Now, some of them, if they've chosen to attach fees to their transactions, you can bribe this guy. And by bribe, I don't mean bribe. That may be a harsh word. Maybe you're donating to the cause of some sort. Let's say that. That's a little bit nicer. We won't assume the worst. So if you're donating, so to speak, with these fees, then this guy's going to put you in the front of the line for the next block. And this fee can be anything. It could be 1 mojo. It could be 100 mojos. It could be 1,000,000 mojos. The higher the mojos, the closer you will be to the front of the line, and that makes sense. So that's the first thing that fees help you with, is simply, if the min pool, by the way, this is what we're calling the min pool, this inside area behind the main gate, but before the hayride, so to speak, is the min pool. This is where coin spins come in and kind of hang out and wait for their hayride. Now, as long as there's enough room, as we've said, all the space out here, there's plenty of room for people, so we can still let plenty of other coin spins in, no problem. And some of them might even have some extra little change in their pocket and be able to skip to the front of the line in the form of fees. So this kind of makes sense, right? I think we will now move on to the next scenario. Oh my goodness. We have a major overload of people in our hay fair. So now what we're going to do is the guy at the front is going to close his cord here and say, okay, hold on, we've already got too many people in here. Now, this guy's going to say, if you even want to get in here, you're either just going to have to wait until there's more people that have gone on the hayride, or you can give me a certain fee and I will kick somebody else out inside here that does not have a fee or has a lower fee than you. And I'll let you get in here and I'll kick that person out. So let's pretend this guy right here is able to, let's not, bribe is a bad word. Let's say he's able to donate to the cause for this guy's cause, and this guy is going to let him in. So what we're going to do here is we will take out this poor guy right here. Oh, he got ejected. And we're going to put in our friend here that made a nice donation to the cause. Cool. All right, now our friend is in, and of course, because he's got a lot of change in his pocket, he gets to skip to the front of the line too. So now he's up there waiting with everybody else. Okay, but this is the basic idea. There's actually kind of two gatekeepers, if you think of it like that. There's the guy at the front, that's main concern is maximum occupancy. And then there's the guy right in front of the hayride, that's main concern is ordering everybody by their fee amounts. So, again, to get on the hayride, you may or may not need a fee. But if you do include a fee, you will probably be on the hayride sooner. If the mempool is full, though, you will definitely need a fee to even get in the door. And then you hope that your fee is high enough to get you skipped to the front of the line, or close to the front of the line. Otherwise, you're going to wait inside here with everybody else for a while, too. Okay? So that is basically why you would use fees. Now, some people aren't great with analogies, myself included sometimes, so let's make this a little bit even easier. Let's just have a simple flowchart of how do I know what fee to use. Now, in other blockchains, in other wallets, there are simple fee estimator type tools, and Chi is no different in that regard. There are already certainly community tools out there that will help you estimate fees, and we certainly expect that fee estimation will come to the Chia wallet itself very soon. But in the meantime, and just so you kind of have an idea of what's going on behind the scenes, this is a simple flowchart that I drew rather badly. Let's start with the beginning. Is the mempool full? That's our first question. if it's full, then we've got to pay that big amount, remember. That big amount to even get in the front part of the door, the first entrance. And why do I say 50 million mojos here? Well, if you look in the code, there's a lot of details behind this exact number. But this is basically the recommended minimum fee to get in the mempool, get into a full mempool for a simple transaction. And a simple transaction would be one in which we just send a mojo and we have 2 total coin spins. So just quickly, if we go back to our example here, notice remember we've got this one, we've got this one, we've got this one, and then we create this one and this one. So we've really got 5 things we're doing here, right? 5 coins. We're spending these 3 and we're creating 2 new ones. So that's 5 coin spins for the single spend bundle. So that one would actually be more complex than this simple default transaction that we're talking about if we go back to our flowchart here. So the 50 million is a recommendation if you would just have 2 coin spins in your package. So it's a very simple transaction. You're sending maybe 1 XCH to someone else, and you just happen to have exactly 1 XCH. So there's no change required. So it's spending this one and creating this one. And if the mempool is full, then you could expect that you would need about 50 million mojos to even get this into the mempool in the first place. But again, that's only if the mempool is full. Okay, moving on. If the mempool is not full, well, is your transaction taking too long? If it's not taking too long, then just let it ride. 0 fee. Don't put a fee on it. It will eventually go through. Your wallet will even keep trying to submit that transaction if it times out over time. So maybe right now your 0 fee is not getting through because of dust storms or anything else, but in the future, hopefully it will. So 0 fee is fine if you're not worried about time. Are you worried about time? Is it taking too long? Well, then add more fee. That's simple. You can start with 1 mojo. You could start with 100 mojo. You could do 1,000,000 mojo. Remember, if the mempool is not full, then we're back to this scenario. And you're easily able to get past this guy because there's plenty of space. So you could easily come in here with 0 fee and wait your turn. Or you could come in here with 1 or 2 mojo fee or 100 mojo fee or whatever and maybe jump to the front of the line. It's up to you. But the main question is, of course, is mempool full? All right, so that's fees. One last question I think that's interesting. Where do the fees actually go? Well, of course, they go to the farmer. And that farmer might be you. You might be farming chia. So those tiny little fees, when that farmer wins that block, any fees that are attached to those coin spins go to the farmer. And we thank him for his service. Or her. Or they. Thank you, farmers. Let's talk about how a transaction would actually work with a farmer, though, as the last thing in this episode. So if you attach a fee to your transaction, then the farmer is going to get that fee. So let's now know what we've learned in the last 2 episodes and put everything together. So we're going to send 1 XCH to our friend, and we're going to attach a 100 mojo fee to the farmer so that we can skip ahead in line or at least make this a timely transaction. So, as you can imagine, what we learned in our correction bit at the beginning is that first we will choose the largest coin, 1.25 in this case, and we're going to spend that. Now, we know that we're going to need our own change, and we know that we're going to need to spend 100 mojo fee. So let's go ahead and give the 100 mojos to the farmer. Now, just quickly, when I say mojos versus XCH, 1 XCH equals 1 trillion mojos. which is a pretty big number and a lot of zeros. So I find it easier just to write out 1 trillion. But we're going to send we know we're going to send 100 mojos to the farmer for the fee. So we'll go ahead and create that coin there. And of course we know we're going to send 1 XCH to our buddy. So we'll go ahead and create that coin. So now we need our change. Well, we know that normally we'd get back 0.25, but we sent 100 mojos to the farmer. So our coin that we get back as change, or that we create for ourselves as change, is going to look something like 0.249999999. Lots and lots of nines. You get the picture. So when we included a fee, we actually resulted in 3 coin spins. 1 to our friend, the fee to the farmer, and of course our change back to ourselves, minus both. All right. Well, I hope that makes sense. This has been another great episode. I've had a lot of fun doing these. I really welcome feedback, and I really hope everybody enjoys them. Please let me know what you'd like to see next. I actually do have episode 3 planned, but I'd like to hear your feedback on what you'd like to hear after that. Just a sneak peek for episode 3, we'll be talking about all kinds of interesting things, puzzles and hashes and puzzle hashes and puzzle code and reveals and solutions and all kinds of fun new words that we're all going to learn. So, as always, check me out on Twitter. Endertown is my personal account, or Catmos Coin is my Chia Cat project. Would be great to see you at either place. Thanks a lot. Take it easy. See you later.